So I decided I am going to document my postpartum period postpartum journey, as I try my hardest to do what I can to avoid postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. Now, I know that hormonal, chemical imbalances, all of that can just trigger it and cause it, and there's nothing I can do about that aspect. However, what I know I can do is try to be intentional, try to make sure I'm taking care of myself, trying to get rest as much as possible with a newborn. But I also had really bad postpartum anxiety with the twins, like really bad. I was able, and the reason I say I was able to go undiagnosed for a little over a year. The reason I say I was able to go undiagnosed is because I do the screening. Like at that point I was working in a regular primary care pediatrician's office, well, clinic. So I was seeing newborns to 18, 21 years old. So anytime I had a newborn or had an infant, we were doing the screening for the mom. So I know what the questions are. I also know the additional questions to ask a parent, or a mom, sorry, because we don't ask the dads. I would ask the mom. So I knew. And the other thing is, those questionnaires are for the last 2 weeks. So when I would go to the pediatrician's office, if I had a good last 2 weeks, I'm gonna pass it. I'm not going to get diagnosed with any form of postpartum anxiety or depression. You only see your OB at 6 or 8 weeks postpartum, depending on how you delivered. So it was very easy for me to pass, or say I didn't have anything. Now, with me, I ended up on hormonal birth control, and that sent it out of control. That spiraled it. There was nothing I could do. Prior to that, I felt fine. I didn't feel like I knew I had some anxiety regarding being a good mom and the situation revolving around my kids, or involving my kids. But this time I decided to be proactive instead of reactive. I was very reactive with the twins, but I'm very proactive this time because it scared me. And research shows that it takes longer to recover from having a baby. Why it took them all these years to figure that out, I don't know. But along with it taking longer to recover physically from having a baby, it also takes longer mentally for your body to go back, regulate. Plus you then have sleep deprivation because you're up with a newborn, feeding a newborn. Who knows how long your baby's not sleeping through the night. You have sleep regression with phases, all of that. So I say all that to say that I decided about probably 2 months ago now, that I was going to start therapy. There's other stuff going on as well, but I also wanted to get established with a therapist who already knew me, or by time I had the baby was starting to get to know me, so that if there were signs of postpartum depression or anxiety that were presenting and I was not aware of them, or I was able to just say no or not at all on the screenings, that there was somebody that would pick up on it. So I did that. So yesterday Saturday, the first Saturday we were home after having the baby, I don't know if it was postpartum blues, I don't know if it was everything else going on, just it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's literally standing in the kitchen crying, and I just felt overwhelmed. I just felt like this is a lot. I spoke to my therapist about it during our next session. We addressed it. We talked about ways to deal with it. But yesterday, out of nowhere, I started feeling so anxious. I could feel I could feel myself having palpitations. I was home by myself with the kids, all 3 of them. But I was so anxious to the point where I was the littlest noise I would hear in my place was causing me to be what is that? Causing me to jump. I've never been that anxious. I was trying to finish cooking, so I did not want to just go which is usually like my safe space anyway when I'm feeling anxious. I had finally gotten the baby to sleep, and the baby was in the pack and play in the living room. So I'm like, I don't want to disturb him. Like, I want to let him rest, finish cooking. I was gonna try to clean the kitchen fully. Didn't happen because I was so like anxious. I was so anxious to the point that I almost texted my husband to say, hey, let me know before you come in the door. But I didn't want it to come across like I was trying to, like, I was being sneaky about something, or that I just didn't want it to be a problem. So I just didn't say anything. I was just like, hopefully the doorbell camera goes off before he puts his key in the door, so that when he comes in, I'm not like jumping. By the grace of God, I WD-40'd the mess out of our door the other day because it was so squeaky and loud. So because I did that, I heard him come in, but I didn't hear him coming. Like, I say that, so like I heard him put the key in the door, but the door did not squeak when he opened it, so it did not scare me. But that lasted for an hour, like an hour, to the point where I was like, I don't even know if I should watch a show. Let me go watch something that is like happy or whatever, about nothing. So I ended up watching, which is not happy, but I ended up watching the beginning of season 4 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because, you know, there's nothing to it that don't affect my life. I prayed because there's really nothing else that I could do in that moment, and eventually it passed. But I am going to try to document this journey and hope that it doesn't come back the way it did in 2021, 2022. I have been praying while I was pregnant that my postpartum journey would be good, it would be healthy, there would be no postpartum anxiety or depression. I think the interesting thing is you hear about postpartum depression a lot, you don't hear about postpartum anxiety as often. Because even when I've said it to people, they're like, oh, postpartum depression. I'm like, no, I did not have postpartum depression. I had postpartum anxiety. That is a diagnosis. It is legit. But I'm home like 2 months longer this time. I'm home during the summer. So I'm hoping that all of that helps a little bit more. Like, we'll be able to go out on walks and, well, until it gets too hot. So I'm hoping that doing that and trying to also take care of self while taking care of a newborn and soon to be 5-year-olds will be beneficial. And also trying to realize I can't do everything and ask for help. And not just ask for help when it comes to the baby or the kids, but putting my pride aside and asking for help when it comes to home stuff and getting stuff done. And we'll kind of go from there. But I will do videos whenever something is going on, whenever I feel triggered, whenever I'm concerned about something popping up. Even if, you know what, if I go a whole week and there's nothing, then that will be my update. Like, here we are, week whatever, no symptoms, not feeling anxious. But I have been telling myself I was going to start doing these videos, and then last night when I had that panic attack, well, I wouldn't even say it wasn't a panic attack, but when I was feeling so anxious, I was like, you know what, I feel like it's confirmation, or this is a sign to do these videos. So tag along for this journey with me.